Banger after banger.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on TikTok, hit me up in the community post, man. You know the vibes, baby. And I'm back at you with your AEW Dynamite review. And I gotta say, man, the feeling has definitely been restored these past couple weeks as far as AEW goes, as far as the content goes. This is the AEW I love. This is the AEW I know. This is the AEW that I've been wanting to see for the longest time. Now, granted, AEW lost their guy, their top star. CM Punk got fired on his day off, man. He got his pink slips. He got shown the door. They gave him the boot. They gave him his walking papers. They told him to hit the road, hit the bricks, get out of here, Pepsi boy. So, you know, this is going to be kind of sort of an adjustment period for AEW. But then again, man, AEW's been doing fine before CM Punk. And AEW will do fine after CM Punk, man. It's just going to be a little adjustment. But it is what it is, man. AEW's been cooking, especially with this episode of Dynamite. Especially with the fact that we had All Out in Chicago this past Sunday. We had All In last week, man. AEW's just been doing the damn thing. So we're gonna get to this review, we're gonna get to this Dynamite. Leave me some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of the show. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. You already know how the show kicks off with now the former international champion in Orange Cassidy comes out, makes his way to the ring, cuts a promo, lets the people know that AEW didn't clear him to compete. They told him to stay home, and Orange Cassidy was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. As long as I can walk, as long as I can breathe, man, I'm still gonna show up to Dynamite and Collision or wherever I can show up. And you know, he just said his name was Orange Cassidy, and he still doesn't have a catchphrase, so you know, good for him. And as he's making his way out the ring, the new international champion, Jon Moxley, makes his way to the ring. He gets ready for his match with AR Fox. And it was pretty cool how they did this, because they did the little split screen between Orange Cassidy's reaction and Jon Moxley's making his way to the ring. And then it was showing highlights from their match at All Out. So it was a pretty cool visual on how they did that. And now as far as this match with between Jon Moxley and AR Fox for the international championship, I mean, it was a good match. My only thing is AR Fox, I posted this on Twitter and it still kind of baffles me. I understand the backstage reasoning behind it, but it still doesn't make sense because AR Fox got kicked out of the Mogul Embassy. He's pretty much back to where he started. And on top of all that, you had this little mini storyline with Darby Allin where Darby Allin forgave AR Fox on behalf of Nick Wayne. Even though AR Fox is the one that beat up Nick Wayne, he didn't beat up Darby Allin, so it's kind of like, well, who the hell are you to forgive someone on my behalf or whatever? But you know, AR Fox, I really do enjoy AR Fox as a wrestler. I really hope that we do continue to see more of him on TV, but it would have made so much more sense for him to still be with the Mogul Embassy. But them's the breaks, man. Jon Moxley won. He is still the international champion. So after the match, Darby Allin comes out to check on AR Fox. As this is happening, you cut to backstage. Christian Cage is talking to Nick Wayne. And Christian's pretty much saying, listen, you need a real mentor. Darby Allin ain't it for you. Your dad's dead. He wasn't all that good of a wrestler. You need someone who's a champion like me, Christian Cage, the real TNT champion, the father of the year himself. So this is interesting. I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm not really feeling the whole AR Fox Darby portion of the storyline, but I do want to see where this goes between Nick Wayne and Darby, especially if Christian can, you know, sway Nick Wayne over to the Christian Coalition, get the new Christian Coalition popping off with him, Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. So that would be pretty dope. That would be pretty a pretty interesting setup as far as their Darby and Nick Wayne's dynamic. And speaking of Darby, I'm just gonna cut to the main event because this was indeed the main event. It was one of the matches for the Eliminator tournament to see who will face MJF at Grand Slam. It was Nick Wayne himself taking on Darby Allin. And this is a pretty solid match. During the match, Christian Cage comes out. He gets on commentary. He's talking shit about Darby, and he's saying that Nick Wayne, he's a real mentor like Christian, and blah blah blah. Darby ended up winning with his weird looking submission where he had Nick Wayne's hands like held up behind his back and he started like stomping his head, and I guess the referee just ended up stopping it. And then as Darby is celebrating, he's checking on Nick Wayne. Christian comes up and he holds up his TNT championship, and that's how they end the show. And I'm like, okay. So, like I said, man, hopefully this does lead to the whole new Christian coalition with Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. And, hey, we'll see where this goes, man. I'm intrigued. You got my interest. I want to see where this goes. So we go back to the show, and we have the one women's match. Yeah, typical AEW fashion, but plot twist, this wasn't on during the 9:30 hour. I'm like, okay, progress, I guess, or whatever. This was a match between the TBS champion Chris Statlander and Emi Sakura. And this was a fine match. They did the damn thing. They were cooking. I'm like, okay, I want to see more of this. And Chris Statlander won. And what I want to see from Chris Statlander is like some stories with her, instead of, okay, she just has the open challenge and she has good matches with her ops and whatever. Give me a little bit more, man. Give me some story. Give me a few. Give me something, man. I felt like they're gonna do something with the whole Ruby Soho thing, and that was kind of like a one-off, and that didn't really go anywhere. So we're kind of back to where we started with Chris Statlander, and we're kind of in the same boat as was with Jade Cargill, where she would just come out and just have real good matches or whatever, but there was no story, and the little stories they did have, nothing really came of it. So I kind of want more of that for not just Chris Statlander, but for the women in general, man. Give me a little bit more. Just do what NXT does, man. Just do a better job of featuring the women, because AEW, it's been 4 years, man. Tighten up when it comes to these women, bro. It's ridiculous at this point. So after this, we had a backstage segment. It was like a little therapy session where Roderick Strong was talking about his parents. And at first I thought it was Christian asking these questions like, hey, tell me about your parents. But it was just Roddy talking about his parents and talking about how his dad wasn't shit and his mom wasn't shit. And wrestling kind of saved his life. And I'm thinking, are we supposed to have sympathy for this man? And it was kind of like commentary, like especially Tony Schiavone was kind of like saying, oh, this dude is a manipulator, he's a liar, he still has the same neck brace on, I doubt anything's wrong with his neck. So after this, we had surprisingly the match of the night, the best match on the show, the best match on Dynamite, and it was between Aussie Open and Les Sex Guys. Now at first I was kind of confused because I thought that Les Sex Guys were going to have a match for the tag team championships, and this wasn't the case. But it kind of does make sense because Chris Jericho lost to Will Ospreay, and then I think on Rampage, Aussie Open ended up attacking Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara made the save. So this match kind of does make sense. And like I said, man, this match was actually really good. Aussie Open was cooking, Sammy Guevara was cooking, and more importantly, Le Champion, the Ocho, Chris Jericho was cooking. I'm like, okay, Chris, I see you still built like a baby mama, but you're still cooking, man. You still got it, bro. And it was a really good match. Now, during the match, there was a little bit of miscommunication between Sammy and Chris. They kept accidentally hitting each other, and there was even one point where you thought it was going to cost him the match, but Chris Jericho ended up hitting the Judas effects on one of Aussie Open, and Les Sex Guys ended up winning the match. And I'm kind of starting to turn around a little bit on these two. I'm like, okay, maybe they could have a nice little tag team run, but the miscommunication was too much. Sammy Guevara got in Chris Jericho's face. They started pushing and shoving, and I'm like, here they go with this breakup tease again. And just when I think I'm getting on board with seeing these two as a tag team, they go back to the drawing board and say, oh, now we're going to tease the big breakup, but tease the big match between Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. And I'm like, if y'all don't get to the damn point with this, are y'all going to break up or what? Is this match happening or what? Is it happening at Grand Slam? Is it happening at the next pay-per-view? when is this happening? Is this happening at Wrestle Dream? This is feeling like a Wrestle Nightmare right now. Either break up or stay together or do something. I don't know. Because you had a pre-tape with Ricky Starks, and this was after he had this phenomenal match, the phenomenal strap match with Bryan Danielson, and Ricky Starks. He's cutting that passionate promo where he's like, "I've overcome obstacles," and he's yelling and screaming. He's light skinned and he's turning red and whatever. And he's like, "I've overcome obstacles. Anything they put in my way, I knock it out the park." Blah blah blah. And he's doing that typical Ricky Starks thing. But the promo was really good, and he's really passionate. And it's kind of like I want to see where this goes. I want to see what happens next for Ricky Starks. Hopefully, this ends up leading to a big push for him. I would love to see that because Ricky Starks, he's one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW. Sassy heel Ricky Starks, he's best for business, man. Tony Khan, do right by this boy, man, for real, for real. Something I forgot to mention was, for some reason, Don Callis was on commentary for the Chris Jericho tag team match, and I'm like, why is this still happening? But you fast forward a little bit after the Ricky Starks promo, you have Don Callis and Takeshita, they're in the back, they're talking to Renee, they have the picture in the back, and apparently that's going to be the next victim for the Don Callis family. And it's like, who all is in this family? I know Takesha's there. I guess Will Ospreay's kind of sort of there. Is Ozzy Open there? Who else is in the family? This is a very small family. It's a very close-knit family. But, whatever. We'll find out who the next target for the Don Callis family is next week. So after this, we got into the real, man. We got into these real graps, this real promo. We had the AEW champion, the only AEW champion at this point, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, making his way to the ring. He's addressing the crowd, and it's still, I like MJF, but it's still kind of weird seeing him be the pandering babyface. But he's doing a good job at it, man. He's pandering to the crowd. He's saying, listen, whoever makes it through this tournament, you're going to have to face me or whatever, because I can please this mark Tony Khan, blah, blah, blah. And he's about to address Samoa Joe, but Samoa Joe beats him to the punch. He comes out to the ring, and he's like, listen, you got a lot of bass in your voice, kid. Tell me what's the problem. And MJF, he's kind of getting annoyed because Samoa Joe keeps calling him kid, and Samoa Joe's getting annoyed because he's like, oh, I asked you a question, you're not answering the question. So MJF gets to the point. He brings up the whole NXT thing where MJF was a young kid. He was making his way in the world of wrestling. He tells the story about how he tried out for WWE and William Regal did the whole blah 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 and yada yada yada. Fast forward, we're here now. MJF's the AEW champion, and he's saying that he's not the same kid he was in NXT. And they're trading shots at each other. They're cooking each other. This is a good promo segment. And MJF pretty much says, listen, just stay out of my way, man, or else I'm going to be the one that kills you. And Samoa Joe claps back and says, listen, I'm in this tournament. I'm going to run through everybody, and I'm going to take your title, and I'm going to make you look like a little bitch. And anytime a wrestler calls another wrestler a bitch, that's how you know shit gets super serious. So Samoa Joe makes it seem like he's going to leave the ring, but he ends up attacking MJF. They get into a fight. They punch for a little bit, and it looks like Samoa Joe is going to take out MJF. He's going to attack that neck, but Adam Cole comes out and makes it save like the true best friend that he is. But by this time, the damage has already been done, guys. MJF, he's in the corner. He's crying. He's talking about his neck hurts. He said he can't feel his left arm. His left arm is numb. And Taz is doing a good job of commentary and like relaying the fact that neck injuries normally lead to like numbness in your arms or whatever. So he's doing a good job of putting that over. And as MJF and Adam Cole, they're making the way to the back with the doctors and whatever. This is where simp ass, neck break ass, I have glasses for some reason, as Roderick Strong comes out. He's like, Adam! And Adam Cole's like, dude, are you seriously doing this now? This dude's neck is cooked. And Roderick's like, my neck is cooked too, Adam. Who cares about my neck? So then this leads to the match, the eliminated match between Roderick Strong and Trent. And Roderick Strong ends up winning with the backbreaker that he does. And it's funny because I'm hoping that Roderick Strong's gonna wrestle the whole match with the neck brace on, and that wasn't the case. But after the match, Roddy ended up putting the neck brace back on, and I'm like, aha, I figured it out. the neck brace is the source of Roderick Strong's powers. I figured it out. So if you take away the neck brace, you take away his powers and his glasses or whatever. But Roderick Strong wins. He goes on to the next round of the Eliminator tournament. And I'm kind of torn because I'm like, damn, I kind of want to see Roderick Strong win, but I kind of want to see where this Samoa Joe goes. This Samoa Joe thing goes as well. So only time will tell, man. I'm interested, even though Tony Khan, he overdoes his tournament thing way too much. After this, we have a backstage segment with Toni Storm, who's doing a great job with this character, with this whole crazy, demented character, who she has no idea what's going on, but she's crazy. And Renee's asking her about, the fact that she cost Ruby Soho her title match against Chris Statlander. And Tony's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what's happening. But what I do know is that there's going to be another Fatal 4-Way Eliminator. Another one of these Fatal 4-Way matches to see who will be the new number one contender. The face, Saraya for the AEW Women's Championship. And I think the participants are Toni Storm, Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, and I want to say Sheeta. And all signs are pointing towards Toni Storm winning and facing Saraya whenever. But the match itself should be fine. So, the last thing I want to talk about, I've saved the best thing for last. You have the return to AEW Dynamite of Hangman Adam Page. He's cutting his first promo in what seems like forever. We haven't seen this man really on AEW Dynamite in a long ass time. But it's good to see Hangman back, man. He's wrestling more. He had a battle royal. He was a part of a battle royal in the pre-show of All In. Or All Out. I get these two confused, man. Switch the names, goddamn. But he wrestled in the pre-show of Battle Royale match. He donated the money towards the Chicago School Fund or whatever, because Hangman used to be a teacher and Hangman is an overall great guy. And Hangman's starting to talk about what's going on towards the future and what he wants to do going forward. He's not really dwelling on the past. He wants to look forward to the future. But then, of all people to come out, is damn Swerve Strickland. He's back. He survived the coffin. He's out of the coffin. You have Prince Nana doing his dance or whatever. And this segment between Swerve and Hangman was awesome. And this is a match I've kind of been looking forward to for a long time. A lot of people on Twitter have been looking forward to this match a long time as well. Swerve kind of cooked him a little bit. And he's like, listen, you had all these opportunities. You could have been the top guy. It seems like you don't even want this position no more. If Swerve said if he had the same opportunities that Hangman had, Swerve would be the first African American AEW World Champion, and I believe it. And I still believe that Swerve will be the first black champion in AEW history. Hangman kind of walks off. He's kind of looking dejected, and Swerve's still talking trash. And then Hangman gets into Swerve's face again, but then he's attacked by old Brian Cage, old Mohawk ass Brian Cage, and then the Mogul Embassy ended up attacking Hangman. And this is going to lead into a match next week between Brian Cage and Hangman. And somewhere down the line, we're going to get Swerve versus Hangman. And I'm here for it. That match is going to cook. It's going to be a rocket buster. It's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be an all time of the night. I'm excited. I'm here for it. I'm liking the fact that they're giving Swerve more opportunities to, be that top guy, to be the top heel. Because, MJF is a face now. You have Christian in his turtleneck. He's like one of the top heels. And Swerve is up there with Christian and I guess Roderick Strong is being like the top heels in AEW right now. And you absolutely love to see it. Pretty cool stuff. Interesting episode of Dynamite, man. I was thoroughly sports entertained. I loved it. Great episode. It gets an honorary W. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Be easy. I'm out. And I swerve when I drive. Peace.